Welcome back. This is The Globe on SABC News. Now, the appointment of a new cabinet in Zimbabwe has far-reaching implications. And to talk more on this, we're joined by political analyst Dr. William Mpofu, who is in our Pretoria studios, and Tino Mambeu from the Zimbabwe Exiles Forum. A very good evening to you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Tino, I'll start with you. And Dr. Mpofu, thank you so much for joining us in Pretoria. Now, Tino, I'm going to start with you. Is this a reflection of the so-called New Dawn?
Thank you very much for having me on studio. I really appreciate the time. Well, you ask a very critical question as to whether this is the beginning of a new dawn for Zimbabwe. I would answer you in a very specific term. I think the cabinet that we have seen today, above all, is not a kitchen cabinet. This is a real working cabinet. Why do I say that this is a real working cabinet? It is not a group of penny pals going out fishing where they are going to play around and, please one another's egos. It is a collection of people from diverse backgrounds, people that do not necessarily subscribe to the values of ZANU-PF, but that subscribe to the values of the people of Zimbabwe in general. The appointment of Tino Mambeu is a wonderful appointment. The appointment of Kesti Coventry is a wonderful appointment. So in a nutshell, this is a proper cabinet, and by ZANU-PF standards, it has even gone beyond the expectations of the ordinary Zimbabwean. In any event, we would want to say that the new dispensation, which chorus has been sung for probably 10, 11 months, might now appear as if it has started. We saw it from November. It was kind of a false start. But this could be the real start of a new dispensation. And the restoration of the legacy of the Zimbabwean people seems to have started now with the appointment of a cabinet that speaks to the desires of the young people. I have seen so many youthful faces there, and also the diversity among the generality of the population.
All right. Dr. Mpofu, I'm sure you've been listening to this conversation. Does it inspire confidence? Is it really enough, to inspire confidence and entice the entire community, the international community rather? To Dr. Mpofu, I'm not sure if you can hear me. Please react to the latest appointment.
Yeah, what I can say is that there is a clear sign that Emmerson Mnangagwa has a wish and conduct what can be observed to be a revolution. Signs in that direction are like the appointment of such technocrats as Professor Tino Mambeu, who is, to all people who know and understand, Mtuli is a monster in the philosophy of economics, the philosophy of finance and everything. So you can clearly tell that Mnangagwa is a wish. And what needs to be brought into the picture is also these individuals, these technocrats that have been mobilized and brought in, going to be able to overcome the old political cultures, political traditions, and political systems and structures that have been impeding progress in Zimbabwe thus far. And Mnangagwa himself should understand that the optimism needs to go beyond tokenism to just bring in big names, good names, people like Kesti Coventry that can excite people and incite some euphoria, but actually conduct change and go on to build the nation of Zimbabwe. You can have an efficient state. If you don't have a nation behind that state, you have not done anything. So there is a sign that Mnangagwa intends some good, but he needs to go further and inspire the opposition and inspire the opponents and the enemies that he has, and mobilize the nation of Zimbabwe, create some healing, some forgivenesses, some amnesties that will mobilize even former opponents, former enemies, former distractors of his into the team that is going to sing the Zimbabwe national anthem and approach the world and conduct what can be witnessed to be a revolution, not in impressions, but in actuality.
And perhaps one of the key appointments, or rather the key portfolios, is that of finance, now to be headed by Mr. Mthuli Ncube. And as I just said, he's a professor at the Oxford University and is a former vice president of the African Development Bank. But can one person single-handedly rebuild an economy that has been wrecked over years under former President Robert Mugabe?
That is the challenge, because once you bring in such technocrats, such monsters and such wizards like Mthuli into a team, for them to deliver, there must be enabling structures, enabling systems, and an enabling environment. So what is needed is to push back these war veterans, push back these forces that want to take the system into cronyism, into friendships, into corruption, and into other roadblocks to progress that have been in play in that country. So what Mnangagwa has given is only a sign. If those signs are going to work in actuality is yet to be witnessed. That's why I am arguing that he needs to go further and create an enabling environment where he conducts amnesties, forgivenesses, healings, where all these people that are making noise, all these people that have been fighting with him, and all these people that are aggrieved, including Nelson Chamisa and the opposition, should come into the chorus of the nation. All the national talents of Zimbabwe should be mobilized to say wars of the past, conflicts of the past, factions of the past are now over. Let's build a dream economic and a dream political team that will represent Zimbabwe in the world system. And then and only then, the sign that Mnangagwa has given, the promise that he has shown, can come into fruition. So his homework is only beginning. It's only a sign like what I'm saying, Zimpiwe.
All right. You've heard Dr. Mpofu saying that President Mnangagwa needs to provide that enabling environment. But with key portfolios such as the land and the foreign affairs being left untouched and still being headed by retired army generals, do you think such an enabling environment will thrive?
Well, I think one thing that we have got to judge upon is not the fact that they are retired generals, but the fact that they have been in government for the past 9 months. I'll mention Mr. Sibusiso Moyo, Dr. Sibusiso Moyo. He has done exceptionally well in terms of his delivery in the Foreign Affairs Ministry. You speak of Mr. Perensi Ashiri. He has done exceptionally well in those areas. But what you should also take notice of, Mr. Mnangagwa has tried to balance the party interests and national interest. That is why you have seen that there's been an appointment of Mrs. Opamuchunguri from, into the Defense Ministry. It says a lot. It shows that he has tried to maintain his old comrades that they came from the war with, but also infusing the old comrades with very young blood. I will speak of Muswere, I will speak of Mangaliso, I will speak of Kesti Coventry. I think I've seen quite a number of young people that have been put into this cabinet. That is a very, very good sign. But at the end of it all, it's not just about the cabinet. It's about the people of Zimbabwe. But what we have seen from the people of Zimbabwe, especially after the announcement, is the rejuvenation of hope. Remember, Mr. Mnangagwa has got 2 areas of focus. Firstly, we had elections that were disputed. And as the people of Zimbabwe, we agreed to disagree that these elections were somehow.
Okay. Tino, please hold your thought. We'll definitely continue our conversations after the break. We joined in studio by a member of the Zimbabwe Exiles Forum, Tino Mambeu, and in the Pretoria studios, we joined by a political analyst and an expert in African affairs, Dr. Mpofu. All right, we'll take a short break and we'll be back with more.